There we go. Got everything set, and I think we're good to go. Welcome to the stream. I'm Magus Wolf, and this is the Resonite art team office hours. We usually have Aru with us, although he might join us a bit later, depending on if he's busy or not today. But, yeah. We're here to ask questions or answer questions that folks ask either in Discord or in chat right here. Just put a question mark at the end of your question, and it'll pop up in the chat logs right there as a question. Oh yeah. Just hanging out in a map called Viridian Islands. Totally not because I saw both Nexilin and Flux, Protogen Flux, stream there earlier on TikTok. Yeah. So far it's just me today. There we go. Just busy messing around with Blender shaders and stuff like that. Was kind of like seeing how a couple of games do their texture setups, regards of how they pack textures into one texture. I don't like how what we do here with the metallic smoothness maps for well, it's metallic smoothness and either ambient occlusion or height maps in here. So, yeah. Other than that, just been pretty much busy working on quite a few projects in the back. Ooh, thank you for the sub, Protogen Flux. Yeah, I was just watching you and Nex in the same world, in this exact world, streaming on TikTok, and I saw Nex in the background of Sharkmare's or Protogen Flux's stream as well as Nex on the stream. Vice versa. It was funny. I was like flipping between each of them. Wonder if I could buy one of those. Oh, that's my booper sound, or one of them. But yeah. Ooh. You stream playing Magic the Gathering. That sounds fun. Honestly, there's a card game I want to stream one of these days, or like have people play it. It is a very, very niche one. Let's see here. There's two of them. One of them is called Ramen Fury, which is essentially you build bowls of ramen, and whoever builds the better bowl of ramen like 3 times wins, essentially, and you can like stack cards on top of each other. It's like a, yeah. And yes, the other one, Protogen Flux, is the Hot Wheels like card game that I ported over here. And yes, there was a TCG. This one right here, I used to play that long, long ago. It was only in a limited run of like 246 cards and like 20 years ago. Damn. Got all like the information of it and rules and all that. It's gonna be fun playing that thing again. Even made a deck builder in here on my own time. Went through and found scans of every single card. Also to prevent it from becoming lost media because, well, they don't print it anymore, nor that it's hard to find those things online. But I could blabber about it. I should stream like on my own Twitch playing it sometime. Which was one of that card game was one of the reasons why I made like a generic card system for Resonite. And if you go into Resonite Essentials games, tabletop games, you'll see a set of cards. I made like a standard 52 deck of cards in like the style of Resonite. That's like all the, oh, here's the Joker card. And if you notice, these diamonds are also made out of the little gloopy bulbs. And here are, I think, yeah, that's spades, hearts, and okay, that's also spades as well. Hearts, diamonds. Come on, give me clubs. Oh, here's what a queen looks like. Oh yeah, there's clubs or clovers. Queen, jack. Nope. 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 I'm gonna be here for a while. At least until I find at least one king. No, no. Nope. Oh, there we go. Took me a minute. Oh yeah. And not only there's a standard 52 set of cards, I don't want to delete the camera. Oops. There's also Uno, or, well, Rezo, I mean. Don't sue me. Hasbro. Yeah, you got like a wild card. Made like a dark version and a light version. And then where's the funny card? I have to bring this up on stream. There, perfect. The No You card. I think this should be like a an emote on stream at some point. I think it'd be funny. Oh no. You're gonna be doing that when we have physics, not me. Ocean Flux suggests when we have rigid bodies, you can play 52 card pickup. You can, not me. I'm not doing that. Now imagine 1,000 card pickup with some of those commander decks in Magic the Gathering. I am not doing that. Wasn't there like a thing where someone made like an absurdly large deck and that they had to like shuffle it? So was it, I'm trying to remember what game was it. Either it was Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic the Gathering. It was Yu-Gi-Oh, and then it was banned in like tournaments right after. Oh yeah, I gotta finish the yeah. There's several other board games that we made for like Resmonic and stuff like that. Realize we haven't uploaded to the folder yet. Things like chess, checkers, etc. Yeah, working on a lot of things, but mainly prioritizing like things like the tutorial, the some event worlds that we're doing, and working on the universe, which we're getting to a point where a few more things, it'll be good to kind of tease what we've been doing in the universe a bit. And for those who aren't familiar with the universe, it's like a uh, scale of the universe kind of world where you can see the scale of objects, whether it be subatomic level to the scale of the observable universe and anything in between. It's kind of like one of Frux's old educational projects ported into Resonite. It is more of a remaster and a remake to answer your question, Bitcrack, where there's a lot of the main functionalities there, but some things like redoing um, some of the shader work in there, like the materials were done in a time where it was in what is called gamma space versus linear lighting space, so that had to be changed for like literally everything. I even remembered accidentally, for some reason, leaving a model of a fish somewhere off in the distance, like recently, and that was kind of funny that happened. So I had to like update the material recently because we forgot it was there. It was just somehow accidentally launched into the ether. But not only doing that, but updating the models for like the pedestal, the UI updated to be the new kind of like nicer UIX style that Ravi's been working on. Updating some protoflux in there to be more clean with how it's like laid out, so it's not like a piece of spaghetti as soon as you open it up. And the what else is there? Additions to like the assets in there, like new objects in there that kind of show the scale of things. Because like there's different asteroids that we were gonna add in there. I know previously, but never gotten around to it. Updated the largest star known in the universe by man, and a couple other things too. One thing we haven't added yet was black holes, so I used the same visual I made for Resmonic and tinted the color of it and used the scale of the accretion disk for scale of reference. And the Milky Way galaxy black hole is nothing compared to the largest black hole that we've known in the universe, and it's terrifying to see that thing pop up. But it's like, what was it? Phoenix A. Was it Phoenix A that it's called? It's like massive. Like it can engulf the entire solar system, and it's like event horizon. And then a few other things here and there. Some, what was it? The Artemis program, yes. The Apollo, not Apollo, but there is an Apollo lander in there, but the Artemis launcher and Orion spacecraft is also in there now, too. I'm trying to think what else we've done. I'll probably, of course, update the vocals, narrative, and locale strings. That's what we've been doing too. We have like a whole, I shown previously in a stream, we have like a whole spreadsheet of everything that we had to do and update so that people can start translating it. We'll probably have to figure out a way to do voice translations as well, or different settings for the narration. So, yeah. Oh, and one more thing, a neat thing about the universe experience. Say you click on article about Pluto, or click on the name Pluto above like the model, and it shows like a wiki article on the pedestal that is in the center. And that's one thing that we have to reset up as a functionality, but it's pretty cool. We have a few questions here as well. To answer Zervex's various questions, will the chat commands and Resonite description ever work? That depends on what kind of stream we do. I think we should include some of these for the streams, but with things like office hours, it's more or less focused on like answering questions and being more, in a way, informative. But I think more streams that are like casual would be pretty nice. I know there's also a commands system and chat system for TikTok that has been made using like OSC or WebSockets. Don't exactly know how that works, but I know it does. It's pretty cool. You can even like set your own color for uh what's it? Yeah, set your own color for like the chat logs. Here's a question from Qualitorium. Oh, Bob asks, "Are you telling me exclamation point explode Bob is not connected to business time overview?" Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Qualitorium basically is rephrasing their question, but what is a material in Resonite that you think doesn't get used enough or uh, loved and all that? Thinking. So, man, that is a good question. Um, I would say also how it's set up in texture wise. We have a tool within. Oh, I do have a multi tool here. We have a tool in here I wanted to kind of show again. This I think is underutilized, especially now that it's like recently added like a few months ago or earlier this year. This is where you can pack textures together into one, and there's also the thing where you can unpack textures. What more or less is properly setting up PBR materials is something that I see occasionally be like a common thing, or whether it be someone not knowing how to set it up or sets it up wrong, whether it be the roughness versus smoothness, because that can change depending on the games or engines. Normal maps, whether it be DirectX or OpenGL, which there's a simple solution for that one, which is if it's a DirectX normal map, you just invert the green channel, and you can do that directly in Resonite. And things like packing the roughness, or yeah, the smoothness map, metallic map, and either height or occlusion maps into one texture, and you can use it in multiple slots in a material. Say I get a PBS metallic, sorry, and you got this right here. This is basically your metallic and your smoothness. You can also use the same texture if it uses the green. Each image within like your computer has like 4 channels. Red, green, and blue makes like the color of the image. An alpha channel, which is like transparency. Say if you look at my feathers, like part of it's cut out with the transparency, or the shields on my armor is transparent. That's the alpha channel doing that. And you can pack black and white images from like black to white gradients of values on each channel. And like I was looking at a PDF document of Bungie's development of Destiny 1 with how they do their setup for like player gear, weapons, and armor. And they have like a shader stack that has actually I think also in Destiny 2 where they have 5 different textures on a single image, which is insane. Or like 7 actually. Actually, that's kind of funny if it's 7, because no, they're obsessed with that number as much as we are. But I'm trying to remember what it's all stacked with, where you have color channels of like specific like black and white, nothing in between, on like a certain value, or like color masking, or like say if you want one part to be like one color, another part to be another. But it's interesting read for all that stuff. But essentially, those kinds of textures you can put into multiple slots, whether it be the height map or the occlusion map, if you pack them in Resonite. And that's one thing I think should be more utilized. It'll help optimize your stuff a bit more. Another actual like materials, I would say, it is a hard one because a lot of them are kind of unified. For plants and stuff, people use like the displace, kind of like the stuff behind me. For like distance lerp, that is another thing that I think people haven't utilized much as well, where you can make like cool effects like an energy wall that appears when you get close or something. Or hmm, like trying to remember what else was it too, like a heated metal where you take like a blowtorch, you point it towards like the material and it glows at the point you do it is another way of doing it. Or example, in another material, oof, another material that this packer will help immensely is with splat maps. And what the splat material is, I'll bring that in real quick too. Let's see here, because honestly, it was a pain in the rear dealing with splat maps before, like an easy packer tool. Okay, that's the color mask. Difference between a color mask and a color splat. Color mask is for something that you want with like color customization, but the splat map is purely for things like something that has like a lot of different textures on it, like a terrain. Like you want places where there's going to be dirt, sand, grass, rock, gravel, etc., depending on how you set it up. And since there's four channels in the color for like different gradient between it, you have four different textures to really do it. Now, some other games kind of add a bit more to the mask. I know the game Voices of the Void uses five different sources of textures, and the fifth one is like the height of the terrain to kind of give like cliff rocks a separate texture from the rest. And I think we'll get stuff like that once we're on a new rendering engine, which would be really cool. Plus, honestly, one of my huge wants for this kind of shader eventually is a global normal map and a global albedo or overlay map where it can tint the terrain different colors to kind of add it more randomized variety with like how the texture is. Especially see that in multiple games that do it. But yeah, with this, not only you got different individual textures for like the albedos, you have a packed height map, which is, well, a height map is a black and white texture, is like to give effect of parallax or like bumps, more 3D in a texture. And since it's a black and white gradient, you can just pack it into four textures into one. Now with a normal map, you need at least two channels. Well, that what normal maps do. The kind of very brief explanation is like just uh, how light bounces off of objects, like bumps or grooves, scratches, patterns, engravings, stuff like that would use normal maps, or even like fur on my avatar, for example, also use a normal map to add detail. Even where there's no color on the texture, like the light difference also adds that detail. And it uses the red and green channel. Uh, the blue channels sometimes in some games use it as a height map as well to add onto it. But in this shader, it does not use it. It uses just the red and green channel, and you have to pack it into another red or pack the first normal, basically 4 normal maps in 2 textures, with the first 2 textures having their red and green channels packed into one, and then same thing again with the other one. And in this case, too, for the emissive map, you see 4 different ones or one packed one. So that's another thing, too. If I also recall... Oh, wait, metallic map? Oh, one? Oh, there we go. Yeah, for the metallic map, there's smoothness and metallic. Then you do the same thing with, again, with the smoothness and metallic. That's why it says 0, 1, and 2, 3 counts from 0 to 3 instead of 1 to 4. Because, well, that's how computers count up. So, yeah. That is a underutilized one because it's usually a pain in the ass to use, but this makes it so much easier. Ooh. I have a couple, or demystifying stencils tutorial. Okay, that's another one. I still need to like get get a hold on how stencils work, because like it is a little bit tricky for like stencils, as Qualatorium mentioned about stencils. Those are underutilized because it's not as documented. And same with mip maps, but I could probably help document how to set up mip maps in GIMP, as there's a workflow for that. Because, yeah, things like plants need sometimes custom mip maps, because what they are is like LODs for textures, and the farther you go, less detail there is. If it's a cutout image, sometimes it just ends up getting like disappeared, and like those leaves on like the tree where I'm pointing at right there, like if I'm far enough, if it's not set up correctly, the leaves will just disappear and you'll just see the branches. So, but if you set it up a different way, it'll like solidify it and it'll look like just a solid thing of leaves, which makes it look much nicer than something that isn't disappearing. And now we have, but yeah, if people know about this stuff, if you contribute to the wiki, that contributes to everyone. Like, it helps out the team and the community for learning the platform too. Because we're still working on the tutorials here and there for a lot of things, and all that esoteric knowledge is definitely shouldn't be esoteric and should be more accessible. Question from computer user: is it possible to do parallax occlusion mapping in Resonite? I know we have displacement mapping, but that requires of triangles and generally less performant than parallax occlusion mapping. I'm not entirely sure exactly what you're talking about. Is that like where the texture looks like you know, actually I do have a potential reference of what you're talking about, but if I'm wrong, you can let me know. Other effects, where was it? I use this for multiple things. Okay, this is actually a really good demonstration. This is not using stencils, by the way. This is using height maps to displace that texture behind it. Kind of wanted to make that like 3D screen effect. And it's like multiple materials stacked on top of each other on multiple different quads with like a nice glass texture to cap it on top to make it look like a screen. But yeah, with height maps, you can definitely do parallax like that, if that's what you mean. And yes, Modern, you should probably contribute to the wiki. It helps anyone. And yourself, too. Because I should contribute to the wiki because there's things I need to write down and want to either make videos of, but it's probably best to have it written down first before making stuff like that. So, yeah. Also, welcome to the stream. Yeah. Been just talking about materials, textures, and yeah, card games earlier. 3D detail while still being 2D. Height map thing is conceptually similar. Not sure it will be the same thing. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty much the same kind of mechanics. I'm like, if I put like a brick texture with a height map, it will look 3D. To me, like, it's, if done correctly, it'll look good. I gotta find a good example, though. That's the thing. And, let me check materials. My own. What's this? Oh, that is using a height map. Cool. Actually, let's get a box to put it on. And slide this on there. Alright, I have zero clue if this is going to be as visible on the stream. I'm going to like rotate this a bit. You can kind of see like there's some depth going on with those rocks and the crevices. It's more visible in 3D when you actually like set this up correctly. It's actually turned out quite well. Don't remember where I got this texture though. I just got it as an example so I can make something similar. Pretty much the amount of detail and performance cost too. Goes normal maps, parallax, displacement. Yeah. That's pretty much the ranking of that too. That's actually something I'll bring up here. Yeah. Because like when it comes to displacement maps, the difference between that, but they could use the same texture too for displacement map, is if you have a high resolution mesh or like model that has a whole bunch of triangles, it actually displaces the mesh, makes it like pop out physically in a sense, and that is much more expensive, but people use it for things like water or terrain itself too, things like that. Yeah. Okay, this is a material I've found that has an even better parallax or height map. And it's literally just a pile of blueberries. I have a cube of blueberries, and you can see it kind of breaks a little bit at certain angles. But it looks like completely 3D if I just move it like this. Now, if Fruix watches this, they'll be tantalized by the amount of fruit. And probably hungry too. I'll leave this cube of blueberries without any explanation or further explanation in case if somebody wants to question about it. It'd be funny. uh, yeah, from what I recall, like there here's a question from another question from Qualitorium. Since it sounds like material stacking is destined to be a supported feature in the future, and know any cool material stacking tricks? A lot of the material stacking I usually see or use is like an unlit material on top with like an effect on it, with like glowing lines or lights or cool effects like that. But I think I'm trying to remember the exact reason why we're eventually gonna set it up too, because well, we're gonna have a custom renderer so we can make it so. But it is still a better way to set up stuff by separate renderers. And once we have like a way to build shaders that have like multiple effects layered on top of each other, that'll be a much better way of doing it. But for backwards compatibility, would probably be better to set that up. But uh, I don't know the exact reason or technical stuff why that changed, but yeah, the techniques I usually see with material stacking is with like unlit cool glowy effects or decals as well. And to quickly answer Grand UK's question here too, have you seen Renderite? A community custom renderer that is in the works right now by mainly Double Sticks and a few others too. That is pretty cool. Modern has shown me occasionally here and there screenshots and videos of it working. And it's come a long way since like a couple months ago, even. And if it's built in accordance to like the requirements, could I mean potentially be a candidate for us to move towards because the feedback phase for us going onto a new rendering engine, which is phase one, just getting feedback, ideas, and stuff like that. Ah, let's see here. I'm looking at the probably an announcements of the Discord here. Phase 1 closes on May 12th. That's what it was. Okay, so if anybody has feedback or stuff like that, if you look in the announcements of our Discord, you'll see information about our road to the new renderer. That includes like everything about the Unity renderer. That is open source and the uh, the steps that we're taking to basically get off of that. And yeah, phase 2 is going to be selecting a new one. And that'll be an interesting thing. But I feel like once we do select one, people will still be able to like swap it out. That's just how it works. Like Resonite is technically two programs now. Renderide, which is what we're visually seeing, and the underlying mechanics, which is like, you know, the components, the networking, the protoflux, coding, voice, etc. Render renderite. Renderite. Those are two different things. I think renderite is the renderer that we use now. Or the thing that communicates with Unity. Was it? I'm double sticks. Can you please rename it to something else? Or I don't know. Uh, I'm now confused. I am confusion. Renderite. I mean, it'd be cool if we did use it, and then like it's like yeah, Rust based. Yeah, that's what I remember too. For what Double Sticks is working on. Well, yeah. I still think probably a better naming scheme. Maybe. I don't know. Res oxide. It's not the double sticks how they rename it. Them naming it the renderide isn't really, against anything or whatnot. It's just confusing. I know definitely we're not going to use Unity in the future, so people won't be saying renderite as much then, unless it's reference to the prior renderer. But that would be funny, actually, in a way. We changed from renderite to renderite. That would be interesting. And like some of the potential things Fruits talks about with things like editing the shader in Resonite, just like Blender, would be incredible. Like where you can have nodes. Ooh, we have a raid now from Crory VR. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Resonite office hours. Tune in, chat to ask questions. If you put a question mark at the end, it'll pop up as a chat in our Twitch chat right here. And don't mind the cube of blueberries right there. It's just there. Huh? Oh, I see. I was looking at the chat and then I was like, wait, what? Oh, yeah, it's because the emotes on this chat is not updated yet. I see. Welcome. Oh, hi. Hi, Decoy. And welcome. Thank you for the raid and welcome, bird watchers. I present to you a cube of blueberries without any context. Okay, I'll provide context. We were talking about height maps and stuff, and this has a really interesting height map in here. And it's a summoning item. If you need to find fruits, you just have enough fruit and you'll summon fruits. And those just tuning in, if anybody has a question about Resonite, please put a question mark in chat and it'll pop up, or question mark at the end of the question. It'll pop up in chat right there. If anybody, needs to ask a question for next time, there's a Discord forum post that I posted as well too. What is the cube behind me? This is a cube of blueberries. Pure pile of compacted blueberries with a nice height map. That's why it looks 3D, even though it's technically 2D if I angle it correctly. The null map and height map is actually really good. And that should answer your question. Coffee. There we go. Oh yeah, just ooh. Okay, I have an interesting answer for this actually, like a actual legit answer. Is this cube a precursor to Resonite becoming a voxel world? Well, guess what? Fruix wants to add a terrain system in Resonite in general, kind of similar to how Unity or other game engines have a terrain system based off of like height maps or voxelized terrain. and not just like block-based games would be possible, but things like voxelized terrain meshes that are like smoothed out, kind of. Think of games like No Man's Sky, and uh, there's a few other games that do that, but that's the prominent one that comes to mind, where you can actually mine out different areas, and it's still like a smooth, like terrain and everything, but it's all technically voxelized under the hood. But yeah, technically yes. But yep, Valheim. Actually, I've been playing that recently too. 7 Days to Die is also another one. Marching cubes is an algorithm that smooths out voxel geometry stuff. Oh yeah, that's also how people or well, ray marching too is a way that people render things like fractals and stuff like that, where it's like an infinite detail. You just set up the zoom and then it just sets it up. As I look for a model of a fractal in here, there's one I made one of like pyramids or something. Is it like shoot. Actually, I have a fractal called a Menger sponge. And what a Menger sponge is a square full of squares, full of squares, full of squares, or rectangles, full of rectangles, full of rectangles, and onward and onward. But I made one entirely out of low poly foxes. And this has brought my frame rate down to 21 frames, but it's worth it because if I just bring this up close, as you can see, yeah, that is a lot of foxes. And now you can see my dynamic bones freaking out because of the amount of frame rate I lost. Okay, now I can breathe. Now it feels so smooth. Whoa. Yeah. Man, I can't wait until my replacement part for the Vipro I come in. I'm on my index right now. Likely it's the link box that went out, or the cable that goes from the link box to the computer. It's like I bought previously two brand new tether cables to weather out until the steam frame. Mm, yeah. Although there is a piece of hardware that I'm looking at getting. I'm gonna actually showcase this on stream if I can find it. It is a device that you can put in, kind of like how the Babel tracker, which is a face tracker, essentially literally is just like a custom made webcam that you can like plug in underneath your headset, including the index, because they make custom 3D printed brackets for it, and it's just open source software compared to like closed source, like how Meta or Vive has it. And it's like a device that you can just slide inside your headset, whether it be Index, Vive Pro models that don't have eye tracking, the Quests as well, multiple Quest models, and I think Pimax as well too, and probably Windows Mixed Reality technically too. And it just basically has cameras pointed at your eyes that would basically give like a live feed, and they mention places like, VRChat, Resonite, Chill Out, and places that support Babylonia, which is like the open source eye tracking software made by the same people who made the Babel tracker in software, which is pretty cool. Let's see here. And it's about like the Babel tracker itself is about $100, and I think that covers shipping. I'm not sure, but the other device for eye tracking is like 120, and the company's based in Japan, so that's like conversion from yen. Let's see here. What was it? Eye tracking VR device. Maybe if I'm lucky to find it. If not, I will find it next time. Because I know a couple of friends of mine posted it. And okay, Google. Stop. Device. Attachment. Maybe? Okay, there's the XR Elite thingy, but that's not what I'm looking for. It's not the WI tracker either. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, with Asqualatorium says like DIYing eye tracking can be a pain and can be dangerous for your eyes if you don't know what you're doing, especially if you're dealing with like IR lights or even lasers, depending on how it tracks. You have to find the right power amount to make sure it's safe for your eyes. So that's important. Let's see here. Let's see, Quest. Maybe I have better option finding it. Was it Pupil Labs? Did I just find another product randomly? Add research grade tracking to XR experiences. Never heard of this before. Quest 3 Pico 4. Pupil Labs, interesting. Okay, I don't think this is consumer grade. Unless, how much is 6,000 euros compared to a USD? Oh man, that's not what I'm looking for. Oh, what's this? Okay, there's another one called Ins Eye Lumi, which is $160 cameraless eye tracking add-on for Quest 2 and 3. I don't know if that one's still around. Oh, I've seen that one before. Let me like, oh, I can't copy it. ShareX, where are you when I can use you? Come on. There we go. ShareX snapshot jump scare. There we go. Now this one's another one I've seen before. That's 8K. Oh. Oh man. You're better building it your own. Or getting that $120. This one's $160, but it's just for the Quest 2 and 3. The other one is actually even more flexible. I'm trying to find it. God, I should just bookmark that. Maybe, did I post in? Actually, I did post it in the Discord somewhere. I'll have to find it later. Ay, ay, ay. If anybody still has questions for anything, though, feel free. I'm going to check how much we've been up for live. About a minute to an hour, so we'll just go like a little bit over like 5 minutes. If I find this thing... Actually, what if eye tracking VR... Oh, there goes my controller. Resonite. It's gotta be somewhere, because I know they mentioned us on their website. Even the big screen beyond also has like that, and also mentioned both VR chat and Resonite for OSC based eye tracking. It's gotta be somewhere though. Where's this device? I want it. I want it so bad. As like a backup for like I've been saving up for the um a frame, and people are still waiting for it, but having like a thing that I can just literally take it out and put it into virtually any headset would be amazing. And that's like ah actually I'm gonna move that, there we go, so I can see stream in one view and Discord in another. Yippee. We'll hunt for this. Oh yeah, I forgot how. Or hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades is having a sequel. That's cool. I posted about this in a Discord somewhere, and I am. Oh, okay. Focus ray. Bingo. Copy link. Firefox. Away. Paste and go. It's like uh yeah, it's supposed to be releasing sometime later this year. Actually, it'd be pretty cool if both the Flux Pose and that release. Oh, so it's starting at 120. Let me get this. Let's see here. Yeah, this is... Actually, can I just copy the image? Yes, it allows me to do it on this site. Wonderful. Alright. This thingy. And the thing is, it wouldn't really matter about, like, the software of this one. Actually, is it backwards? No, it's not backwards. Okay. But yeah, that's what I was looking for. This thing, it's, yeah, essentially you put it in a headset, and it has just, all it is just a hardware. The software you just use like either iTrack VR or Babylonia, or yeah, Babylonia. And yeah, their site mentions like places like VRC, Resonite, Chill Out, Basis. Oh, they have their own Discord server. I'm going to join. Oh, wait, I'm gonna need to get more Discord. Oh God, because I ran out of Discord Nitro. Ooh, questions. Uh, okay. Sorry, kind of got sidetracked trying to find this damn thing. But now I do. I'll keep it like ingrained in my brain. It's like I want that thing to basically make any kind of headset that I have or could use with eye tracking. That would be incredible. Uh, can you have the cube? Yes, you can have the cube, Grand UK. I can send it to you right now. GRAND. Boop. Yep, you can send items through messages in Resonite. How wonderful is that? Including a box of condensed, or a cube, specifically a cube of condensed blueberries. Doesn't even require preservatives or anything. It's just there. It's just a dense cube, all stacked perfectly. Now, we have a question from Mr. Big Raccoon. What do you recommend as a more performant way to add fogs to maps? Billboards, fog volumes, particle systems, other. Depends on how you set it up too. Like if you have a lot of like fog volumes, if there's ways to cull it, that is another thing to think about too. Is there amount of detail you want? You can kind of do like unlit materials to kind of like make it look like distant fog is happening. You can also bake it into the textures as well. That's what game developers did even now, do even now with baking into the textures of like skybox elements especially. And even like fading it out to transparent, like mountains or tall buildings or large structures, clouds, etc. You can make it look like it's fading out into what? Oh yeah, they have obtained cube, and I think that is on renderide as well. Because that is not on. Yeah, that is not on Unity. It's interesting. I'll leave that there. um, yeah, billboards would probably be good for like fog that is more in motion for like particles or something you want more like wispy fog instead of like just a dense flat like low hanging like fog is like uh calm and not like turbulent, but like particles would make better like wispy fog. uh yeah, I think the ultimate setup wouldn't matter about headset at this point once this comes out. Because if you think about it, like even if you have this theme frame, at that point you don't even need this. You just use Babylonia. You have a Babel mount tracker, and then use both the software, and then you have Fluxpose trackers for full body tracking, and then you technically have some like hand tracking for like even the frame controllers with how the sensors are on it. But you can have like with the external cameras or even your own plug in a leap motion on it and have like really good hand tracking. And then that point is like the ultimate setup, the ultimate rig. Or just straight up just use gloves at that point. I forgot those things are a thing. Diver X and Uticap. Well, I'm probably gonna get Uticap, I think. I'm trying to remember which one was recommended to me, but they both are pretty good though. Both improving over time with each iteration of both software and hardware. Uh, I think, yeah. Before I start babbling more about cool hardware upcoming or already out, let's get this last question here from Qualitorium. Have you ever done anything interesting with the spherical harmonic procedural meshes? Not yet, but I've seen people mess around with it by making, for example, music visualizers or trying to recreate the Gloopy logo in in Resonite completely procedurally, which is also interesting too. Yeah, Renderite and messing around with custom plugins. Oh yeah, that's what you were doing. Oh, I deleted the thing, but yeah, be pretty cool to see how Renderite evolves over time and procedural groupies. Yes, I don't have them on hand right now, but I kind of wish I saved it because that would have been pretty cool to kind of showcase. So, yeah. yeah, since now I know how to rate people, I'm gonna first quickly thank our subscribers as well, because we may as well start winding down on the office hours stream here. And this right here is the big board of our Resonite supporters that you can find directly in our Resonite Essentials folder, and it updates live with each refresh of this to anyone that has subscribed to each of these tiers. And there's much more than this even shows. Otherwise, it would have been like a massive, massive wall of dense text that you won't even be able to read. And yeah, those of you who are supporting on Patreon, if you get the chance, please switch to Stripe. It will help us out and save you money as well too. Save both of us money as well with the fees that are on there, and well, don't have to worry about Patreon weirdness sometimes. And yeah, it helps keep us doing what we need to do for this platform, making sure it's a home for everyone. And yeah, building cool stuff. ah, oh, come to the stream, Woven. You just joined. Basically, to summarize what has been talked about in the stream, people have asked about textures, materials, and Resonite. We talked a little bit about card games on a tangent, went on another tangent about rendering stuff, how Resonite is going to do their new render path, or path 2 using a new renderer, and upcoming VR hardware, especially eye tracking hardware that you can basically put onto any headset, which is incredible. Yeah. The VOD will be on YouTube as well, not just on Twitch. So, but if you do have any questions if anybody has questions for next time for the office hours, or wants to ask ahead of time, because every start of the stream, I didn't see any last week, but there is a forum post or forum thread in our Discord that shows the questions that people can ask ahead of time. Man, brain. Oh, procedural gloopy. I may have been. I got a procedural gloopy from Qualia or Qualitorium. So, whoa. Okay, that's cool. You didn't miss anything. At least got this. That is cool. Thank you so much for sending that to me. It's okay if the colors are wrong. It's like, still looks really cool. I love it. And besides, the colors of Resonite as a rainbow. It could be literally anything. And like, I honestly remember when we were like trying to figure out which colors we want to do for that logo. Ah, well, of course you also worked on it, Balloony. No, and you didn't mess around with stuff like that. But yeah, yeah. If anybody has questions for next time, go to the Discord. I put a link to it in the office hours notification for this office hours for next one, as well as you can search through in the forum thread under that same area too. And I gotta make sure that I uploaded all the previous ones, make sure they're all set. But yeah, if you're not able to tune into these streams or that's it, or want to just ask ahead of time, you can. Yeah, and yeah, definitely ask for any like tips or tricks on like building content within Resonite or using Resonite for other things, because it's a tool as well as a platform. So you all have a good one and take care. I will now try to find. Well, first, I have to open up Twitch on my web browser. I am starting to get hungry. Hungry. Let's see here. Was it Stream Manager? There we go. Raid channel. Let's see who's out there to raid. Anyone playing Resonite. Search and filter. Let's see here. Resonite. Am I the only one streaming Resonite? Wait, that's that. No. Search and filter category. There we go. Resonite. Anybody? Damn. And again, it's a bit late, but if anybody starts a stream within a minute or a few minutes, I'll be able to raid. Otherwise, if anybody actually in general, and may as well let folks know, there are other office hours, not just mine. There's other team members that do their own office hours, as well as this Friday we'll be doing a recap stream as well for recapping what happened in the previous month, which just so happens to fall on my birthday. As well as on Sundays, there's the moderation office hours and the Resonance podcast, which Fruix himself and Cyro do. The marketing office hours, which is on Mondays, and I think every other Monday as well too. J4 does theirs as well. They do a lot of CI/CD coding stuff, and on Tuesdays, Prime does their primetime office hours on Discord. And well, the art team is pretty much doing theirs every Wednesday around 5 p.m. CST. So yeah, actually, pizza sounds good. I think there are. Although I might have something else though today. I know I'm gonna have Chinese for Friday. That's gonna be good. Some Mongolian beef, or Kung Pao chicken, or General Tso chicken. One of those three. Some lo mein noodles. God, I'm making myself even more hungry. I should stop. Yeah, yeah, next time. I'm definitely gonna start, since I know how to raid, I'll definitely make sure to check if someone's raiding, but that's all, folks. Hope you all have a good one. And take care. Bye-bye. Whoa.